Hey Roman, how's it going? This is Chris Ray. I'm just basically reaching out like I told you and giving you a little tutorial that will basically help you with the certain issues that we talked about, your lines being even uneven or a little too dramatic when it comes to having the weight push forward. So one thing you have to realize is that when you're cutting your line, you really want to have certain reference points on where you want the attention to be drawn. One thing whenever I'm cutting my line is I always use my comb. This is like your best friend. This is your level. This is basically gonna let you know if you're square, if you're slightly diagonal back, and if you're slightly a little diagonal forward. These great points really help me a lot when I'm cutting my line. Another thing that I like to utilize is the white teeth area. The reason why is because you don't want to have too much tension when you're working in the front. Because we have the ear, and what happens is when the hair intends to dry, the hair around the ear intends to pop in more, which basically sometimes causes holes or gaps. Another thing is too, is when we're working within the hairline, everyone has different types of calyx, and when the hair dries, that can also throw things off. So it's always important that you don't want to have too much tension when you're working into those areas, especially with the majority of a lot of women, they're very lean in here, okay? So remember that, not too much tension on that. And when you're cutting your line as well, is one thing that I love to do and use as a reference point is the mastoid process. What the mastoid process is there's a little bone that's right behind the ear. When you divide that straight vertically, what that is that's giving you right in the center of where the head starts to curve. With that, with the line that's already created in here from how we're cutting our bob, that's where I like to determine on where I'm going to go, if I'm going square, if I'm going more diagonal forward, or so on and so forth. So when you start doing that, you also want to be close. You want to be too close, but you want to be almost like where you're kind of like a T-Rex, okay? What happens is sometimes if you're a little too far away, you start focusing on different areas of your line. It's always important just to focus on one area and move on. So I hope that helps you. Just remember, use this as your level, your white teeth area. That's basically going to help you on the tension of everything. And you want to be close, but not too close. Don't worry, because when the hair is dry and you're going in and you're refining, that's when you're going to really do more detailing work. Okay? Everything takes time. You know, cutting hair, you have to realize a lot of it it's like a marathon, okay? It's gonna take time, it's gonna take practice. The more repetitive you are, the more you're gonna start to succeed on cutting this haircut. This haircut, all bobs are pretty much, whenever you're working with triangular shapes or even certain square shapes, as basic as a square shape is, can sometimes be the hardest shape, especially when you're working in triangle shapes. The reason why is because a lot of it, everything has to determine by your elevation and what you're doing. So don't worry about all that. You're gonna do great, you're gonna learn more, and basically just focus on using your comb and reference points on where you want that line to be taken. You do those, and I guarantee you're gonna see certain improvements. Actually, you're gonna see a lot of improvements in your line. So thank you so much for reaching out. I hope this helps you, and looking forward to hearing all your success stories. Take care, and aloha.